Okay. You guys have any questions on QoS for people that watch QoS? All right.
There's a lot going on with QoS.
I mean, yeah. It's all good.
I believe I understand it, but I think the hardest part is breaking down the bits between the three first bits and
Yeah.
other bits, and how this equals, service, and then this equals. Yeah.
I went pretty deep, huh? Yeah, I know.
That's going to take a couple times looking at it to really.
The main thing is knowing what it does. It's there to shape and police traffic so that we don't drop traffic. As long as you can remember that for the exam, you should be like good to go. Okay?
That's kind of what I was asking. Is how much of that?
Yeah.
We really need that.
Yeah. So like, one thing you do need to know is the voice VLAN puts a cost of 7 on all VoIP traffic. So cost, remember, that's the layer 2 QoS. Class of service other than type of service.
And iPhone, the Cisco phones start with a 5.
Yes.
Okay. It puts a cost of 7.
Mm-hmm. We're going to be taking lots of breaks today, guys, because my voice hurts. So, okay. Come back at 9:50, and we're going to go over security. We're going to skip wireless for tomorrow.
John, when you're setting up QoS, and like how certain products come with like a baseline of whatever the cost is, is there a way to erase that and set it to whatever you want, or do you?
Oh yeah, you can always manually do stuff. Yeah, you can. But like the phone out of the box will tag itself, so that you can't change. But then when it hits the switch, you can manually tell that switch port, hey, cost of whatever. So tag that frame,
So where would it change its cost? Would it change it
in the frame.
at the switch, or?
Yeah, at the switch. Yeah. When it passes that traffic on, trying to show you. So right here, this is called Unify. It's not as like in depth, it's not as enterprise grade, but this is how they do QoS. It's just a button.
Yeah.
So sometimes the QoS is really easy, but then you don't get the granularity, But like Cisco, it allows you to get very, very granular. Did you watch my lab portion?
No, I didn't watch the lab. I watched all the other stuff, but I didn't watch.
Yeah. You can configure a lot on there. So like when I was in JCU, we had per tunnel QoS. So if we were ever in a contested environment, we would put a QoS policy on our tunnel that says only mission critical applications. So that's where it could become important for like you guys. If you're all of a sudden putting your FDMA, TDMA shot below the noise floor and you're getting half a meg, maybe a meg, what mission critical applications are getting that bandwidth, So that could become, important.
But couldn't you just do that with like blocking certain applications with a firewall?
So you want to block things or you just want to prioritize?
In the sense of, there's no need for me to even touch the QoS.
Well, how would you block? From the hub or spoke side?
Spoke side.
So you're going to go in a contest environment and go through line by line and block applications? And then when you're not, you're gonna re-enable them. You want something dynamic. To do what's they want, you want to police the traffic leaving outbound. Try to show you. I don't think this will have it, but. But that is something they do, like when someone dies downrange. It's called River City. Well, it was called that when I was in, and you have to block like everyone's neighbor connection, besides like a few generals and like shit like that. So people don't talk about the guy that died, you know. So that's something we did do sometimes.
It's mostly just circumstance based.
Well, yeah, in that circumstance, that's just so people don't talk about it on Facebook. And plus, like, think about blocking. Like, let's say your mission critical applications are web-based, but some that are not mission critical are also web-based. So if you just block port 443 to block wasteful bandwidth, you may be blocking ISR feeds. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to get QoS to like a very application specific, you know? So like you can label something as Microsoft Skype or Microsoft Office or Microsoft Word, something like as granular as that. You may have to configure on your QoS. All right. You guys remember Sec Plus? That's like what we're about to do right now. But it's part of the CCNA exam objectives, so let's do it. Okay, let's go over some security concepts. So we're gonna go over CIA triad, threats, vulnerabilities, exploits, and mitigations. Okay, CCNA triad, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality is encryption and access control. Integrity is hashing and non-repudiation. And then availability is just, is our system available? All right, yeah. Confidentiality, that's encryption. Access controls, so changing plain text into ciphertext so that no one can read your data. So we have data in transit, data at rest encryption. So data in transit, that's like IPsec, TLS, SSL. Data at rest, that's like FDE, full disk encryption. So where do you guys see full disk encryption in your environments? On your computers, when you boot them. Someone said it. BitLocker, that's full disk encryption, okay? Your iPhones, when they're locked, this is fully encrypted. And then when you unlock it, it actually goes through a process of unencrypting your entire drive here. And then integrity. So we can validate integrity with hashes. We can also use digital signatures for non-repudiation. Do you guys know how to check a hash at all on the CLI? All right, we'll do it right now. We're going to do it live. So check it out. Let's go download something. Let's go download Notepad++. Okay, so we're going to download this version. So when we download this, how can we verify that nothing has been changed from the vendor? What we can do is look at these hash checksums or digests. So let's download those. All right, now let's look at them. Don't worry about what I have on this. Like, this is called VS Code. It's just a way to do text editing. Okay, so y'all see this? These are file names. So this is all the different ways we can install Notepad++. You guys have installed things before on your computers, your Xboxes, PlayStations. So I am going to download, which one? I'll just do this one. So I'm downloading npp-8-7.4 installer.x64.exe, okay? So when I do that, I'm going to come back here. Where is that? That should match this hash right here, okay? So check it out. I'm going to get rid of the rest of these. And then I'm going to come to my terminal here. I'm going to do change directory, users, John Bandon, downloads. So I'm just moving throughout my CLI. Well, this is called a terminal in MacBook. But now I'm in the downloads folder. And now let's verify my hash. Okay. So we're going to type in SHA sum -A 256. And then the file path. So it'll be, I'm just going to do the full file path even though I'm already in here. Downloads. And then npp.8.7.4.installer. Hit tab. And that's going to give me the hash for the local file I just installed. I'll copy that. I'll paste it right here. And look at that. It matches. So that means that the file from the vendor, Notepad++, matches what I actually am going to install on my local device. If this was different, like let's say we had something like this, that means somewhere along the way, like there was a man-in-the-middle attack, or you're downloading this from a bad vendor that put a little extra, viruses in there, something malicious, okay? So that's how we can verify integrity when downloading stuff. So where can you see this done in the real world or for you at home? Has anyone ever torrented anything before? Okay, that's illegal. But has anyone ever downloaded software that was you're supposed to have license and shit? Okay, so when you download that, you get it from a sketchy site, right? And it says, oh, this is this version of the software. Well, you can go to the real vendor and look at the hash. And if that sketchy site that you downloaded and from the original vendor match, then you know that that sketchy site probably isn't putting any viruses or anything malicious in that file. Okay? So that's how you can verify integrity of LimeWire. That used to fuck up my parents' computer. Does anybody not know what that is, LimeWire? You all do? That's some of you don't know. You're just capping. If you were born after like 2004 or 5, you probably never used LimeWire. Right? When did that come out? 2006?
Yeah, it was at its peak.
Yeah. Because I barely used it, and I'm 28. I just started using it, and then it got like,
I'm still from the Napster,
yeah.
Napster generation.
Okay, I guess it, I mean, shit, it came out early.
Napster was big too.
Is it still a thing?
No.
Well, you know, people like rebuy the domains and shit. 2010. So it's 2024. So if you were born in the year 2000, that means you were doing that shit at 10 years old? Anyways, I just feel old. I was like, shit. Okay. LimeWire shut down by federal court. FrostWire? I remember that one. I just didn't do illegal things. I just bought the music, you know? All right, availability. When it comes to like cybersecurity, availability is kind of talking like, oh, do we have backups? Do we have disaster recovery? Do we have a hot site? When it comes to like cloud technologies, availability becomes like, oh, do we have these resources in multiple zones and regions that are replicating, okay? Redundancy too, so file backups. Okay, a threat. A threat refers to a potential event or action. So these are the different types of threats, guys. Did anyone not have Sec Plus here? Damn. Okay. You don't need it, like for CCNA. It's fine. Different types of threats. We're not going to dive deep. So a vulnerability, these are the actual weaknesses or flaws in the system that can be exploited. Then an exploit is what actually takes a system down, okay? Just moving quick here. So mitigation, that's anything that can help prevent or reduce the risk of a security incident. So access control, that could be in the physical realm or it could be logical. So when we talk about like zero trust too, one of the big tenets of zero trust is principle of least privilege, which leads into something called RBAC, which is role-based access control. Another big tenet is always assume breach too. So that's always assuming that your network can be targeted. I forget the third one. You remember the third one? Like one of the major tenets, zero trust? Yeah. I think it's like multi-factor authentication, something like that. Okay. Other mitigating techniques, having firewalls, intrusion detection and prevention systems. Where'd I go? Fuck. Patch management. So making sure that you have some sort of system in place to apply security updates and patches. So my help desk guys, when does Windows come out with their patches? Damn.
Tuesday.
Yep. Patch Tuesday. And should you apply them right away on a production network? You gotta wait like 30, 60 days. Put it in a sandbox maybe. Test your third-party applications. Make sure they still work after the update. Because sometimes those applications get coded and developed on an older version and then, you know.
That way you don't have a repeat of that application that shut down like millions of networks.
Yeah. Very true. You're talking about CrowdStrike. Yeah. But I heard that was a little bit deeper than that. Like something in the actual code, like a pointer in the C code. It was an update, but no one could stop it though. Like they pushed it out themselves. Like they sent it to every CrowdStrike every computer that had CrowdStrike got it no matter what. It's crazy. I was traveling that weekend. It sucked.
It brought down a bunch of our numbers.
Did it? Who has CrowdStrike?
I don't know. I guess someone in launch was though, because it brought down both of the MPE tunnels we were using
Oh wow.
for like a week.
I didn't know the DoD like used CrowdStrike, so
I guess their RHNs use it.
maybe yeah, maybe some legacy equipment they have there, and it's like a XDR. Okay, anyways, moving on. And then defense in depth. That's like that onion layered approach, right, to securing a network. All right, what time is it? 10:02. Let's take another break. My voice is. I want to keep it alive today. Come back at 10:10. Yeah, I was traveling from Hawaii back here. It sucked.
We were trying to set up MPE for JRTC, and we had gotten everything good, and like 2 days later, it just shit the bed, and that CrowdStrike attack happened. The CrowdStrike update happened.
Yeah, it
Down
sucks.
both of our fucking MPE tunnels we just established with launch tools for like a week.
Why would it bring down a?
They were in the middle of an ASI too for changing out a lot of their equipment. So I guess
Yeah,
they
yeah,
had like a shitload of legacy stuff they were trying to switch out.
yeah. That's nuts.
Hey, John, would there be a reason that some of the practice exams wouldn't work?
Like, what's not working on them?
Hit the start button and it doesn't do anything. Like you have to complete one before you can open another one, something like that.
Let me see. I don't think so.
I started with one and then two, and then I tried to go over here to
Those online watching?
Yeah, it won't even let me open the exam too much.
four. Don't
I
want
tried clicking start on all of them. It won't work.
Refresh for me. Hold on. Just before I hit up my developer.
It didn't feel like it.
So I jumped over here to 10.
I don't see it yet.
And that's it. Yeah.
That's a non-work.
Yeah, let's just see. Which one were you just clicking on? I still want to know though, even if it like magically starts working now that I'm over here. Yeah. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 3, 4, 5. There should be no reason to answer your question though, so it would just be a bug. Looks like 3, 4, and 5, huh? 6 works, yeah.
Yeah, 6 work.
8 works. 9 works. Sorry, just like 10 works. 11 works. 12. Okay, let me try to replicate it on mine, okay? 3, 4, and 5. What's up?
My Trepa app won't let me download it again. It said I expired.
You're expired, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. I got you. 1 second. Have you had it since Sec Plus?
Nah, I deleted and added back for this class.
Okay.
Matt, we're saying shit.
Well, you were in Sec Plus though, right? Yeah. I bet that's why. Hold on. I'm gonna have to tell our developer. Yeah.
I can put it in the chat.
Yeah. Put it in the chat.
Just what
This is how when you work virtually with people, I got this little plug-in. It'll record everything, then I just send it to them. It's pretty nice. Let me do it not on the live stream. Did you put it in the chat?
Yeah, I'm about to.
Okay. Did you guys use our old website? You guys remember? When you did Security Plus? Did y'all use our old website for Security Plus? Like, did it look like this? Yeah. Okay, I was just curious.
Your software engineer, whoever it is, he fixed this stuff.
Mm-hmm. I pay him too. Don't worry about that shit. Yeah.
Shoot him a message and tell him,
Yeah.
do his job. Tell him I'm
Do it. Yeah, do your damn. He's also my brother-in-law too.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, family.
Somebody any type of way.
You want to see something crazy about him though? He worked at Facebook. Hold on. Want to see how much he made? He was a E4 when he got out of the army.
Man, I can't say shit about this, bro.
This is how much he was making at Facebook.
You know what? You know what I said? You know what? This will go on what I just
Software engineer.
said. This will go on.
Well, at this level, I think, look how they rank him at Facebook. E3, E4, E5. I forget, this one's called like principal something. Like, when you get to that principal level of engineer, he's like, and he's near his 40 though, so you know what I mean. He's way older. Old as fuck, you know. I was kidding. I'm 30, bro. I'm kidding. No, but
Just gonna let you know.
but yeah, when you get to that high level, they start making that much, dude.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
He was working remote, and he didn't want to go back in the office, so he just quit. That's crazy, huh?
I mean, hey, at that point.
I think he made, I think he's doing good. He's fine. And now he like works for me. It's like doing the shit he's doing for us, way easier than what he was doing at Facebook. So
What do you mean?
That's one of those jobs you don't sleep for, right?
yeah, it's like very like, yeah.
He in the chat? He in the signal chat?
Yeah.
His name?
Steven? No, his name's Steven.
Steven?
Yeah.
My bad, whoever named Joseph. I just figured out. Yeah, I see it. Where he at?
He said blame Apple.
It is true. So we can't like put our app on the App Store, or they'll take 30% of our earnings, and we can't make it free. It's the weirdest thing because of we're educational. Like it's the weirdest thing. Anyways. Yeah. So that's why we have to have it in beta. So. What? I don't think you will. I don't even think I could like. It's not even like skill. What's skill? It's so many factors, bro. Like getting in a big tech job now, so it's very hard. When he got in, they were hiring. During COVID, they're fucking hiring everybody. But to get to that level takes 5-10 years, and you got to get on the right projects. So like, imagine you got on Google, and they gave you Waze as the project. What does anyone? I know it's like Waze. They're getting rid of it. So imagine you're the lead engineer on that on Waze. It failed technically, you know, because it's not being used anymore. So then they gotta find. You're making that much that they gotta find you another place in the organization. You know what I'm trying to say? There's so many variables. Like, yeah, it is. You know, a lot of like hard work, luck, and timing. You know, and like networking. I think he got the Facebook job after his 3rd time applying. So, yeah.
He wasn't living in his car before his third time.
Well, he got out of the army. No, he was like out. Like he was he.
Did he do the internship with them?
No, he got hired. He got hired. But he was already making apps, and he was a developer, and then he joined the army, and then got out. But a lot of time, a lot of time, hard work, effort, you know, shit like that. But my sister, she makes this much. That's a. Anyways. Well, that's what I'm saying. If she stays with Amazon, I've talked to her about it. I'm like, if you stay with Amazon for, she's with AWS though. AWS is different than, it's Amazon, but they're like their own little thing. If she stays with them for a while, she can get to this, you know what I mean? So she's been there 4 years now, and she's this. So another 4 to 5 years, if you grind it out, but it's a grind, you know, you can get to this level. But apparently the jump to principal though is like less than 1% of like. Yeah, you want to do that. See, this is like less than 0.1% of like engineers. They don't even have it. I'll show you. I'll show you actually. Anyone go on Reddit a lot? I'm on Reddit, so I follow this subreddit called Salary, and a distinguished engineer posted how much he makes. Hold on, I'll show you. Yeah, look at that. He works at OpenAI. So that's another thing. So another great way to like come up quick with money in tech is to get with a startup that goes through its series. You guys know what I mean by that, series? All right, hold on. Everyone shut up because I can't talk loud, all right? It means venture capital. So if like you have a startup, there's these VC firms that will fund you with the idea that 67% will fail, right? The startups will fail. So they go through rounds. So you start with seed rounds, which is like, depending on what it is, you know, 200, 500 grand. Then you go through your series A, B, C, and D, and then that's your final round, and then you're trying to go public. You're trying to IPO, right? So OpenAI started as a startup by the Sam guy. He used to have this thing called YC, which was like a huge VC firm that taught people how to make successful startups. Anyways, my point of what I'm trying to say is that if you get with a startup at the ground floor, at their Series A, or even before that, you can make a fuck ton of money. Like, if you think about being the number 12 guy at Microsoft back in the 90s, where would you be now? You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's a risk, though. You know, it's a risk. I'll show you somebody. Hold on. So this guy was an E7 at JCU Air Force. Fuck, what's his name? Hold on. I've talked to him. He's like, I try to make him my mentor, but he's super busy. But he started this company called Horizon3.ai, a cybersecurity startup that does pen testing as a service. I thought about you when, anyways. So let's check it out. He's a co-founder. So he started the company. Let's take a look at this company. So like a bunch of they're at their Series C. So they've only been a business for 3 years, and they already got 40 million in funding. So a lot of my buddies, like from JCU, when I say buddies, it's just I just know them. But they went and like went to this company with him. So if they ever IPO, they're gonna be fucking millionaires. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy. But anyways, so if you are like ever thinking like, damn, like how do I come up? And starting a business isn't for you, you get with a startup, you know? Get with a company on the ground floor. Hold on. Show you. Crunchbase, this is like, they've like changed their shit around so much, but I don't want to fucking buy your shit. Hold on. Find prospects. Here we go. Dude, they literally just made this shit like freemium. Like it's, oh my God. Never mind. I'll find a different site during the break. But you can look up these startups. Crunchbase used to be a good one, but now they fucking put a paywall. That is so annoying. I hate when companies do this. I bet they got bought out by some fucking PE firm. Anyways. Okay, moving on. Now let's get back to some CCNA. Enough money talk. What's another company? You know, you guys ever heard of Anduril? Anduril? It's A-N-D-U. Okay, so like defense companies, right? What are the biggest defense companies in America that dominate the military-industrial complex? Do y'all know? Okay, it's like Boeing, Lockheed, like Raytheon, Leidos. What's another big one? It's like, I can see it. It's red. Bay Systems. That's like British though. But anyways, they've like dominated the contracting, right? So all these other little companies that try to get in defense contracting have typically just been like swallowed up. They can't get on these big contracts. But now there's companies coming up. So like, you guys haven't heard of this company, Anduril Industries? They're huge, and they're about to IPO, one of the first defense companies besides Palantir to IPO in a lot of years. So if you're in the stock market and you like defense, I would look at them. Anyways, and because technology is like rapidly moving, you know, they're like drones and shit like that, missile defense. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's get back to CCNA now though, all right? But when you get out, you get your TS, you're looking for a company, look for something like that. Look for a company that's like this, not a company that's like this. If money is your goal, if like as much money as possible as quickly as your goal, a company like this that constantly moves up, Boeing, General Dynamics, they're good companies to work for. But if you get on like a rocket ship, you can make a lot more money quicker. Okay, that is so crazy. You saw his taxes on there? Yeah. That's why when you make that much, you have to run a business too, so you can get those tax write-offs, you know?
What is a Google fellow?
A fellow. Probably makes like that much. Netflix. Netflix is a good company to work for too. They pay a lot.
Yeah, they need some help after that, Mike.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, they need some network engineers. What they need.
Netflix went to, what is it? Blockbuster, trying to get them to help fund them.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
So it's a part of,
But yeah, if you guys want to learn about software engineering and big tech, Steven Lindauer, who just messaged, that's my partner, so you can hit him up. Okay, let's go over securing local iOS. So I'm going to log out here. Okay, when you guys see this caret right here, what mode is that? User mode. And how do we get to the next mode? What's this called? Okay. You see how we're just able to go from user to privilege mode, no password? Let's change that. If we want to set a password to go from user mode to privilege mode, here's the command. It's going to be enable password, then your password. Okay? Write that down for your notes. What I'm going over right now will be on the exam. Okay, so when I do this command, this is going to be saved in our running config as plain text. Let me show you. If we type in do show run, section, enable. You see how it's plain text right there? Here's how we make it ciphertext. We type in, I'm going to get rid of this real quick, but no. I'm going to highlight, right click, boom, enable secret Cisco. Okay, fuck. Hold on. Now if we run that show command again, look at that. It's encrypted. Now, there may be a question on the exam that's like, hey, how do we make sure that passwords are not stored in plain text? So when someone shoulder surfs you, they can't see it. There's going to be two options. You can do this, say put the secret command, or this command, write this down, service password encryption will go through and encrypt every single plain text password. Now, something crazy though, is that these can be easily cracked nowadays. So let's copy this. Copy this thing. Look, if we want to decrypt Cisco password 5, hold on. I'll show you, it's real easy. Where's that website I was using? Definitely not Spotify. What the fuck is that? Here we go. Paste it, and look at that. Just crack the password. Back in the day, they used to say type 5 was like the most secure, and now we've gone like, the evolutions, we have like type 9 encryption now. So y'all, when I mean type, you see how there's a 5 before here? We didn't put that. That's like saying, oh, this is type 5 encryption. So we come here, enable, secret, question mark. We see the different levels and how they're hashed. So this is the most secure, scrypt. I forget what this is called. It's like, I should know this. Anyways, okay, moving on. Let's put a password here. So if we want to password protect our console ports, we can just put a direct password. Okay? Or if you want to use a username and password, it'll be login local. Okay? So let me configure both, but this will take precedence. If I put in login local, we'll use credentials instead of just a plain password when we console in. Now, if we want to protect our remote access, it's line VTY. It's the same thing. We can put a password here, or we can put login local. They're going to ask you variations of what I just configured, okay? So you got to understand that this command will encrypt all plain text passwords. If you want to set a password on your console port, you do it this way, set in a password. Same with your VTY lines. If you want to put a password into privilege mode, this is the command. You need to understand those differences, okay? Go ahead. So, fuck. I don't want to touch their shit. But you know on like a router, the console port, it's a blue console port is line con 0. When I SSH, VTY line, that's the actual like back-end hardware that's accepting that a remote connection. Yeah. So like SSH, right? You have to put transport input SSH on the VTY config for SSH. That's a remote access protocol, you know? Okay, moving on. Fuck, I wish I could go over this without my voice fucking hurting, but whatever. Okay, we're gonna go over ACLs on the whiteboard. when we come back from lunch, you're going to do the ACL lab. And then I'm going to go over layer 2 security and port security. And then we'll be done for the day. So it should only take like, we should be done like 2:30 today, okay? ACL, so I'm going to write that a little cleaner. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so at R1, if we want to filter traffic from the internet, how do we do that? So obviously a firewall does this as a dedicated device, but in a router, we have these things called access control list. ACLs. ACLs will permit or deny traffic, okay? ACLs have what's called ACEs, access control entries, and this is where you're going to put your permit or deny statements. Sound good, guys? So a permit statement, that's called an ACE, an access control entry. A deny statement is called an ACE, access control entry. We have two major types of ACLs. So we have standard ACLs. Standard ACLs are only going to be able to filter based on source IP. You have to know this. They can only filter based on source IP. So since you guys know how to build a layer 3 header, what we mean by that is, if I build a standard ACL, apply it to this interface, gig 00, the only thing that the ACL is going to look at, let me write better, hold on. Source IP is this right here, the source IP. That's it, okay? So if you try to put a deny statement based off a destination IP, guess what? Standard ACL is not going to work. It only filters based off the source IP. Okay? So with that, where do we place them? How do we place a standard ACL? What's the best practice? The destination, yep. And when I break this down, it'll make sense, okay? So if we have a requirement that says block VLAN 10 traffic to this web server, we're going to place that standard ACL as close to the web server as possible. All right? Standard ACL, the numbers are 1 through 99 and 1300 to 1099. Let me double check that. Always get this. Yeah, I got it wrong. Fuck. Annoying. 1399. Okay? So you can, when I build a standard ACL, it's either 1 through 99, so access list 1 through 99, or 1399 to 1999. You have to memorize at least this range, okay? At least that range. Because on the exam, they're going to write a good standard ACL, but they're going to put like 140 as a number to try to trick you, right? So you got to know these ranges. Okay, extended ACLs. Let's go over them. This is the other type that we're going to learn. They filter based on source/destination IP. So this is all how you configure it, but it can do both. That's what we're saying here. You can filter based on the source or the destination IP, or you can filter based on source/destination protocol/port. So I say port number and not application, because that's different. Port numbers live on layer 4 and 5 of the OSI model. Applications live on layer 7. Applications will have a well-known port number registered to them, though. But extended ACLs filter based on port number. So if you get a requirement that says filter HTTP traffic or filter WhatsApp traffic, you cannot use an extended ACL to filter the application WhatsApp. What you can do is go figure out the port number that WhatsApp uses and block that port number. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. So you place this as close to the source as possible. See if I get this right. I think it's this. 2699. Yeah, I got it. Cool. I'll put this down here. I'll extend it. Okay. So those are the two major types we're going to learn about. Standard and extended. Now, how do we configure an ACL? What's the syntax? So we have two different ways to configure and two different syntaxes for ACLs. One, we can put the number, okay? So we can do access list, a number, and then permit or deny. Or we can do a named ACL. So it's completely different syntax. Let me show you. So if I do access list, I have to do a number after this. You can see the different types we have here. Okay. Standard, extended, standard, extended. So if I put the number 50, standard ACL, and then I do my permit or deny. So permit 10.0.0. And we use wildcard mask for this as well. Okay, guys? Now, if you guys that are knowledgeable, you know that this last line is not needed unless you just want to be able to log things. We'll go over that. So this is how you create an ACL, numbered, okay, when you use the number. Now, if I want to do a named ACL, check this out. It's going to be IP access list. You say if it's standard or extended, and then you give it a name. I like name way better. So deny telnet. And you see it brings us into this sub-configuration mode. And then we do our permit statements. Permit. Okay? So two different ways to do it. We can just do number, put the number, then the statement, the entry. Or we can set a name for it, and that'll bring us into this named sub-configuration mode. Okay, this is the only show command you need to know for this. Show access list. And it'll show you the access list. So access control lists go in order, okay? So let me show you something. if I get back into here, IP access list, standard, deny telnet, and I do deny 24.2.20. Hold on. Okay. So if I look at this access control list here, this is going to come first, all right? So even though I put that permit any, this deny comes first. So if we're filtering, we go in order of our access control list. Does that make sense, guys? And this is the rules for every single firewall and ACL that you'll ever work on, even in the cloud, Fortinet, Palo Alto, any vendor. Azure, I'll show you it in Azure too. But it goes in order. So this will always get denied, this right here. Even though I have a permit any here at the end, this will always get denied. Another rule that you gotta know about ACLs, I'm putting in all caps. There is always an implicit deny at the end. So what do I mean by that? Is if I make an access control list just to deny traffic, like, okay, look, I just want to deny this one user. I want to deny these block of IPs because they're well-known threat actors from Russia. So I make this ACL. If I forget to put that permit any at the bottom, after all my deny statements, everything's getting blocked because there's always an implicit deny at the end. That's why we look right here. You saw that error I got? It was like, hey, you can't put this. Because since I already put that permit any, this ACL is like, yo, you put a permit any, so that means this. If you want any deny entries, you got to put them above this, okay? Because this won't work. If I put this deny after this, it won't work because it goes in order. So if your permit any is the first statement, you're fucked because anything you try to deny after that, you have to manually put it before this sequence. See, I had to type the number 8 up there. See? So there's always an implicit deny. So when you make your ACLs, do all your denies up front. That's what I'm trying to get at pretty much. Do all your denies up front and then go through your permit statements, okay? Because most of the times what you're going to do anyways, you're going to have like a whitelist, or excuse me, you're going to have like a blacklist typically on the network, because whitelisting is very hard to do on network access control lists. So a blacklist means, hey, everything's allowed at the end, but we're going to go in and specifically deny things. If we had an access control whitelist, that means everything's denied, and then we have to go in and permit things. Now imagine doing that on a network. That'd be tough, right? It'd be very tough. So anyways, if you're wondering how we do this in the real world, if you have a firewall and you have a public IP, like as an organization, typically that firewall is just going to have like set standards. Like, hey, block old things from China, block old things from Russia, block old things from Iran, things like that, right? Just a basic rules like that. Then you just get very granular. Like you have a web server, only allow 443, only allow port 22 from certain hosts within our environment. I'll show you some real world shit. Hold on real quick. I'll show you two things. I'll show you my Google Cloud. Check this out. Fuck, I'm going to have to edit this out, but whatever. So I go to my Google Cloud. If I go to my network section here, actually fuck that. I'll go to my firewall section. Your guys' labs that you use it's a VM with a public IP. So since it's open to the internet, which is not best practice, but it's the only way I can get it to work, usually you want to put your web servers behind like a a NAT gateway, load balancer, things like that, where it's like a proxy. But we can't do that for your lab, so it is what it is. Here's the firewall policy I had to create. So you see these priority numbers? That's the list in Google Cloud. So it's the same shit. So 13 comes first, and 14, 15. If I wanted something before 13, when I make this new rule, the priority would be 12, okay? But we're not gonna do that. So if you look here, I have to allow telnet into these VMs, which is very bad, right? Allowing telnet into a VM can be very bad. So what I do is these are the only ports I allow in for telnet, because that's what EventG uses. And then I have to go through, I have an implicit deny, then I have to go in and actually allow single public IP addresses. So anywhere I teach, I type in what is my public IP and I add it to here. So I probably should go through and delete all these as I move on from a place, but yeah. It's pretty crazy, huh? I know. But for EventG to work, telnet has to work. And if you don't do that, let me show y'all something. If you don't do that, and you put a web server to the public, and it gets exploited because you have an open port or protocol, let me show you what it can cost you. This is not just cloud. No, this is cloud related. I'll show you. Because everyone uses the cloud now. So I had an intern one time make a VM. He left it open, even though I told him to put the firewall rules on. It's my fault. I should have,
Trust but verify.
yeah, it's my fault. So look what it cost me in November. 17 grand. Because what happened is that VM got exploited. This was one VM too. Remember that. One VM. It's because the way our labs work, I can't put it behind a fucking gateway. Anyways, so what happened is these cloud public IPs, they're well known. So I can get a JSON file, put in a script, and ping. I can just ping all these. Typically, you want to disable ping. I know it sounds weird, but typically you want to disable ping. So I disabled ICMP on all my web servers, right? When they're public like this, and these attackers will go through, like, oh, which one responded? Okay, this IP responded, now start probing it. They start sending probes. So what I'm assuming is they got in through telnet, right? Because they just probed that shit. And I had telnet wide open without the firewall rules. They got in there, and they started using my VM as an egress hop. So cloud cost, when it originates from the cloud and it egresses out to the internet, it costs like, no bullshit, like $100 a gig or something like that. So all they did, or as exaggerative, they exported like 25,000 gigabytes of data, and that's how much it costs. So do the math. It's like $1 a gig almost, something like that. Egress. Pretty crazy. So access control lists are very important. That's the moral of the story. All right, moving on.
John,
Yeah.
so on when you're building the ACL,
Mm-hmm.
do you determine the range you want to allow or deny based off of the subnet, or do you have to actually place the end of the IP?
I'll show you. About to go over it. Both, to answer your question. If you want to block a network, you put the subnet, wildcard NAS. If you want to block a single IP, just put the single IP. Yeah. Is that, okay, did I cover everything? Fuck my pen go. There we go. Okay, when you apply ACLs, guys, you can apply them inbound or outbound per interface. So I can't have two inbound rules on an interface. Just one inbound rule and one outbound rule. Make sense? Per interface. All right. Give me like 5 minutes. I'm going to draw something up here. We'll go through it. We'll go on lunch. And when you come back, we'll do your lab, okay? So come back at like 10:52. I'm going to draw something. Any of your clients ever use the cloud? Can you pen test? It's scary using the cloud. How do you probe their shit like that? Will you probe them?
Yeah, I mean, if they're in the cloud or they have their cloud stuff, like, 'cause I don't know, I guess it depends on their environment, but whoever the vendor is should be taking care of the security for their shit. So there's, like, we don't really mess with third party stuff. Even if they have like a third party, if their website's hosted by a third party, we don't touch their website.
You don't try to probe theirs, yeah.
If they want the stuff scanned, they have to get approval and then have them grab a Qualys scanner.
Qualys, right? Yeah. Okay.
Grab that, install it, and then it connects to my Qualys card. Scan inside there.
You should teach CYSA for me.
Oh yeah. I
That's,
don't even have CYS.
but all the tools that we've talked about so far, it's like what they talk about in there.
He said it expires after every 90 days.
Yeah, that's why. Because you guys were in my class in Sec Plus, so I think that's why. Yeah.
I deleted it though.
But I think your account though, it might have registered you had it back then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Say I had mine since July.
And did have it over 90 days.
Oh, that was big. Don't fuck up my shit.
Well, you can go on.
Don't ever say you done fucked up my shit. Oh yeah, I'm back on now. You got CCNA already?
I do.
What the fuck?
I can't see your phone.
That's the first one, bro. I'll pay this phone bill.
You know what? Go ahead and figure it out yourself.
Mom.
Go ask somebody
Nobody
else.
can tell me nothing about my phone.
You ask somebody
You pay your own phone bill?
No.
Dude, for the longest time, I was under my dad's plan. It was so nice. I paid him, but then when I got my own plan, the shit's so expensive, dude. It's.
Verizon?
I was with Verizon. My dad had it for like fucking 20 years, man. So it was so cheap. Yeah.
It's up to park though.
I ain't never get off my mom's plan.
I just pay her. Pay her forever, as long as you want.
You know what I'm saying?
Who you with?
She don't say nothing. Nice.
What company you with?
My dad made me pay him. I turned 18. He's like, all right, $80 a month. I'm like, all right, got you. I know.
I paid in high school and stuff, but ever since then, she don't put me on. I guess because I do her Netflix, Hulu, and stuff like that.
Yeah, they use my Spotify and shit, my family. I'm like, yo, are y'all serious? So the one time my card expired, and they were hitting me up before even I knew. Like, hey, the Spotify not working. I'm like, are y'all serious right now? Like, get your own fucking Spotify. Y'all had 40 years to make bread. Like, I'm 26. Like, fuck out of here.
I just called him yesterday talking about Disney Plus. I need to get on.
Don't your mom. I'm about to say Disney Plus got ESPN on it now.
They got it's everything, bro. It's everything. Hulu, ESPN. Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's capped out.
But like they weren't showing live football games till yesterday.
Really? Yeah. I heard Netflix is gonna start doing it too.
I don't
Football.
know about football. I know they got WWE supposed to.
That's what. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
But Peacock still got most of their stuff.
That's what I don't got. I don't have Peacock.
They be sleeping on Peacock. Peacock got
I like
I couldn't even tell you what cable TV look like no more.
I mean, it's pretty much streaming's become the same thing though.
Yeah.
You need like 10 different services, and it costs like $120 a month. Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, Netflix. I wish I can somewhere I can cancel Apple because they just be trying to figure out ways to charge me. Apple be charging me unnecessary ass shit. Like, bruh, Apple will try to take your last little $9. Apple will take your last $2.
They are. They're Jews, bro. Like with the app, like I was telling you, if you put an app on the App Store and you sell it, they will take 30%. That is crazy, huh? And they already like the App Store's already built. Like it's there. Like what? Like you're selling your iPhones. Like it's crazy.
There was this documentary on Netflix where they was saying how like Apple has been making and stuff where you can't fix their shit.
It's like a monopoly, man. It's like they're gonna change it soon. Cause Europe, Europe forced us to go to USB-C on the iPhone. You know the new iPhones, it's USB-C now because Europe has something called GDPR, and that organization, the EU, puts heavy regulations. So then Apple was like, well, if we manufacture iPhones in Europe with USB-C, like we're gonna do the rest of our fucking phones like that. So Europe's the reason why a lot of that shit gets deregulated and stuff. Yeah. Which is a good thing, bro. I fucking hate that. I want to fix my own shit. Like, dude, shit used to last. Anyways, get me going. Shit used to last in this country, man. Now everything breaks in 5 years. It's fucking frustrating.
The lifespan on some AirPods is literally like a year and a half
Yeah, it's bullshit.
on purpose.
You ever bought appliances yet? Like fridge, stove, and all that?
No, not me personally. But
Well, anyway, it just, shit breaks. They just don't make shit to last no more.
like I hate
It's annoying.
every 3 years you gotta get like
It's the wash and dry so we can get London. Oh, I heard. Makes you
You see it, right? They doing it. Shit, I'm gonna start
like they tried to sue You Break Out Fix, the guy who got that company because he was fixing all the Apple shit. And then he was saying how like they got new screws out. They put new screws in their shit. They put glue on there and stuff where if you do finally get it apart, you can't do shit with it because it's gonna destroy the rest of it.
That did happen before.
this shit crazy.
But it's certain phones too, 'cause they don't do it to all of them. And you go into certain ones.
Yeah, all the ones that's coming out and going forward. Like, yeah, we don't
All right, all right, guys. Fuck my voice. Okay, so standard ACL. This looks like shit, but let's look at these. Let me fix this up real quick. So we have two security standards here. We're going to deny HTTP access from PC1 to this web server. So where are we going to place that ACL? Don't worry about configuration right now, but with the standard ACL, where are we going to place it for this security standard? Okay. It'll be on the router. It'll stay on the router, okay? ACLs are layer 3. So access switch won't have an ACL on there. Switches can have something called VACLs, which are VLAN access lists, but that's not in this. But yes, it'll be on R2. Now, which interface? Gig 00, because that's close to the destination as possible. So we would apply this outbound, okay? We would apply that standard ACL outbound for our first security standard. Okay. Now, this one's kind of a trick one, but we want to deny SSH access from VLAN 10 to R1. Here's where we place this. We're actually going to place it on the VTY lines, okay? So you can actually put an ACL on the VTY lines instead of a physical interface. Does that make sense, guys? So when you see something that says deny, permit, telnet, SSH, create your ACL, and then you apply it on the VTY lines, not your physical interface. So now let's go through configuration. Let's configure this thing. Okay. So standard ACL. The first security standard, I'm going to do a numbered ACL. So I'm not going to, fuck it, I'll do it this way. So the access list, 1 through 99, so I'll put 10. I'm going to put deny 10.00.50. It's just a host, right? So deny HTTP access from PC1 to the web server. Then it's all zeros, okay? When we're defining just a host, it's all zeros. It's a /32 wildcard, essentially. And then we're going to put a permit any. You see this command, this log command? That's optional, but I want you to put that, okay? Because that's going to let us see when our ACL has hits. Okay. So that's making the ACL. Now let's go into interface gig 00. It's going to be, actually, fuck, I forgot. Yeah, there we go. It's going to be IP access group 10, and we're doing it outbound. Outbound, okay? So the logic is when R2 receives a request from PC1 going to this web server, when it sends it out here, that layer 3 header is going to look like this. Source IP, destination IP. And since our ACL standard filters based off source IP, it's going to deny it, right? Sound good, guys? Cool. Now, the second security standard. Let's do it with a named ACL. What the fuck? Okay. So here's how we do named ACL. So it's going to be IP access list, standard, then the name. I'll name it deny SSH. Move this over here. That's going to bring us to this sub-configuration mode, and it's really long, so I'm just going to shorten it up. There's a STD in there, though. And then we're going to put deny 10.000 /24 with that log command. And then the permit any. Okay, so that's how we make a named ACL. Now this is SSH that we're denying from VLAN 10 into R1. So under the VTY lines is where we're going to apply this. And this is going to be access-class. The name, so deny SSH in. Okay, so when it's under, you see this, when it's under dash line right there, the VTY lines, the command is access class. When it's under a physical or logical interface, it could be like a tunnel sub-interface. When you see dash IF, it's IP access group. You'll need to memorize that. Okay, we're about to go to lunch. Now let's do this with an extended ACL. It's going to change a little bit. Okay. I'm not going to put the mode in front of here. I'm just going to type the command. So if we're denying HTTP access from PC1 to the web server, an extended ACL is a little bit harder, okay? Here's what you would configure. Access list, the number. It's going to be deny. And since we're denying a protocol, HTTP, is it TCP or UDP? What do y'all think? For HTTP. TCP. So deny TCP. Our host, it's going to be super long, ready? And we're denying our host to what? The web server, right? So we're going to put that destination IP in with the wildcard mask. And then we're denying HTTP, so then we're going to put equal, and what's the port number for HTTP? 80. That's the full deny statement. A lot more than standard, right? Now we put our permit statement, access list 30, permit IP any. And then we apply it the same way. The command, it'll be interface. So here we do it as close to the source. So if we're denying PC1 access to the web server, I'm going to put this inbound on gig 00, okay? That's as close to the source as possible. IP access group, 130, inbound. So when gig 00 receives that request from PC1, here's what its layer 3 header will look like. We have the source IP, destination IP, 10.0.0.50, 172.16.0.10. Since that ACL is applied inbound, when gig 00 receives that, it's going to run through these statements and be like, oh, wait, I got to deny that. Okay, that's as close to the source as possible. Any questions, guys? Okay. Now, when you're configuring this yourself, it'll walk you through it, Now for the named, it's going to be IP access list extended. Then give it its name. And then it's going to be the same thing. Deny TCP 10.0.0/24 to R1. So here we have something unique here. So we have a couple different options. What you could do here is just put any, and then you're applying it just on the VTY line. So that would be fine, right? So you can do that. Or you can figure out R1's management IP. But then you have a problem because you could SSH to it from this interface or this interface. So best practice when you're denying remote management is just put any, because this is just applying to VTY lines, okay? So this won't fuck anything up. Then we'll put equal to port 22. Then our permit, IP, any, log. Then we go into our VTY lines. And the command is access class, deny SSH, inbound. All right. Any questions there? Go ahead.
So the extended ACL is just more in depth.
Yeah. More granular, right? We can filter on destination or protocol, port number. Yeah, just more in depth. Okay, let's come back at 12:30. When you get back, go to your spreadsheet, get into the lab. We're going to do the standard and extended ACL lab. And then we'll probably finish up for the day. After a few other things. But.
So I understand right? So this is saying any IP was a mask, and also the port.
Hey, be quiet, guys. Going down there. Be quiet.
Oh, you finally told me. Fuck no. Ain't been there in like 2 years. I don't know, bro. They just don't be knowing what be going on around here.
Never hard enough to break up.
I didn't turn my light on.
Oh, for your car? Oh, while you was talking to him.
Yeah.
And that's why I probably out.
Yeah. But then when I tried to get, what's his name? Flores to give me a boost or whatever, it didn't work though. He said, like all my lights and stuff came on. He said that, what's that? Torres said I probably need to be bad. He said it's good enough to do it, but it ain't gonna speak for the turn. If I just shut right back off. I'll keep them right up to that though.
If it ain't one thing, it's another.
And that's what I say, it's just not real. It's just leading.
All right, guys, let's do this lab. So everyone bring up EVNG, because we got a few steps before you get started. So let's have everyone bring it up. And then also, on another tab, go to the class Google Drive, okay? Fuck, got a lot of... Okay. So at the CCNA course Google Drive, follow me. Open up EVNG lab file, and then download this file, okay? You may see a little warning. It's like, do you keep it or discard? Make sure you hit keep, okay?
Hey John, my IP didn't work for
What's your IP?
the .186.
And you did HTTP?
Yes.
Okay, let me see.
Oh, there it goes.
Okay.
It defaulted to HTTP.
Yeah, it happens. All right, any issues, guys, downloading that file? Okay. Now go to EVNG, and what you're gonna hit right below where it says new name, like you gotta come to the main screen. So if you're in the lab, close the nodes, close lab. Come to the main screen here and hit import. And then you're gonna import that lab file. Let me delete all these. I'll show you how it's done. So import. It should be a zip, so don't unzip it. It's just gonna be a zip file. And then you should see this. So I'm gonna come around the screen and make sure everyone's here. Or come around the room. Everything good?
I downloaded the file. I'm looking for where you just wait to. Is it the setup?
Lab file. Sorry, I like use the touchscreens. And download that. Okay. Click that. No. That. Go back again. Going back. Hit import. And import that file. Okay. You good? You getting there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine just keeps defaulting to the login.
No, hit that IP in the web browser.
Okay.
So like go to 10.0.0, yeah. You good?
I think, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. You're working through. Okay. What's wrong? What?
Download the file
Yeah.
and head over to this.
Import. There you go. That's it. And then open. There you go. Y'all good?
It was this one, right? The CCNA video course.
Well, you gotta download the EVNG file. So go hit that folder. Like go back the folder. Yeah. Double click that. All right, log back in. Okay, now go to the Google Drive. Okay, you downloaded that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now go back to EVNG. Now hit import. It's right next to the delete. Import, yeah.
Over here.
Yep. And find that file, okay?
Yeah, this is what it popped up as.
Not if you downloaded just the file. Like go in there. Nah, you gotta go back to Google Drive. You download just the file. Okay. Now we're gonna hit upload.
So on my zip, right? It say 2024. Is it the same thing?
Should just be this one from Google Drive.
I clicked the zip file, right? But it has a different date.
Clicked it from the Google Drive.
Right.
You just downloaded this? What the hell? What are we talking about then? All right, there you go. No problem. Then just hit upload. Yeah. I got some shit on here. Hold on. I can just email it to you if it doesn't like download from here, you know. Sometimes with Macs, it like automatically like unzips it too. All right, go back to EvenG. See if this shit. Oh, good. Go back to EvenG. What's up?
This is not like you've been the past.
What are you talking about, dog?
I was pressing on it for like a good 5 minutes.
All right, you're good.
Yeah, it says success, but shouldn't it pop up somewhere else?
Yeah, I should have. So hit up. Yeah. See, 16A video course.
This
186. Are you sharing an IP with someone? Go to
yeah.
Okay, I got you. Which one are you?
I'm Barry.
Barry? Okay. I gotta get you a different IP. Just stand fast.
Someone else is too. Helen's
Okay. Anyone else having issues still?
I think I'm gonna throw it now. I probably went too far.
No, you're good.
Because when I download it, it just shows 3 little dots.
You're good. Hold on.
See, it'd be that one. I downloaded the wrong one.
No, I was gonna. I'm gonna do it. Sorry. I'm like making you fucking. There you go. Who's having an issue still? You are? Okay. What's up? mean, you're good. What you mean? You don't see it right here? Hold on. Yeah, you're good. All right. So this is what you guys should see now. I cleaned things up a little bit on the labs. Section 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 labs. Under CCNA video course. Yeah, since you didn't delete the old file, it like combined them. So just go see what's on my screen. I'll fix that. It's cloud-based, so I'll make a new VM. This is just like for the meantime. So you're gonna go to section 6 labs, okay? I'm sorry. Section 8 lab, section 8. We're doing ACLs. Then you're gonna go to section 8_0_5 ACLs. I'll do it again. If you have like what looks like duplicate folders but different names, like a different name for section 3, 4, and 5, that's fine. Just come to section 8 labs, section 8_0_5 ACLs, and then you're going to do lab 1 and lab 2. Standard ACL and extended ACL configuration. The instructions, they're in GitLab as well, okay? Is there any questions? All right, let's get to it. Is yours still messed up, man?
I mean, that popped up right here.
Oh, you're good then. Yeah, you're good, bro. You work at Domino's?
I used to. Yeah.
That's cool. Huh.
Oh wait, it did work.
It's okay. We'll just delete this one. You imported the folder within the folder.
Okay, okay.
That's why.
Okay, because the first time it didn't work. Okay.
No, you're good. You good over here? Bro, what the fuck? Okay, you're good. I'm just kidding. Okay. There you go. You know how to work this shit? Okay, I know you missed. Everything's just over here.
Okay.
Then when you want to console into them, you just wait for it to start up. Come on.
Did I miss the instructions on what you wanted us to do on here?
So the instructions are in GitLab,
Okay.
Section 8 labs, ACLs, same naming convention.
Okay.
Just follow this
Yeah.
line by line. We're gonna do these labs till about 1:30, and then we'll probably get out of here at like 2:30. Only got a few more things to go over. You're good. Oh no.
Yep, every time I log in, it kicks me out.
There you go. I got you a new IP. Hold on.
Okay.
We can be friends. You like Ariana Grande?
But who?
Ariana Grande?
Oh, she's alright.
I've seen all these interviews of her, like super awkward. What's your name?
Deja. I think I'm number 1.
Okay, I'm just gonna switch you to. Fuck. Use Tevins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, bro, what is going on with you? Let me, man. Give me this, man. Give me this shit.
You're gonna do some bullshit and then it's gonna work. That's how it's been.
You gotta start paying attention. You know what I mean? No, hold on. Hey, yo.
That's what I'm saying. It's been really slow, but it hasn't been like that for like the last.
Let's just restart your computer. Yeah, let's just. We're not gonna download that. The VM probably needs to like restart. It's been running like non-stop like 6 days, so sometimes it can get a little. Yo, look out, dog. Damn, this guy had no manners. Get it, okay. Just fucking with you. Damn, I'm on live stream, like being funny. Don't worry, I got you. I'll watch fucking crazy ass girls. Did you get a ride home yesterday?
Yeah.
I felt bad. I was like, fucking leaving this kid in the rain. Like, okay. You don't got a car? You gotta get that shit right. Toyota thons right now.
I asked him too before.
No, I got it right. They ended up coming like 2
Just
minutes.
don't get a call around here. Get a call when you're not here.
I'm tracking.
You should get a Camaro.
No.
Okay.
You're not listening to this.
Get the Scat Pack, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Solid advice right
Get
there.
a hatchback, because everybody's real envious of a hatchback on ruck days, man. I'm telling you that straight up.
Okay, let's see. We can't. You know, I was driving when I was here, and fucking 99 Camry. That shit was nice. Baller, shot caller. I don't know, bro. This shit's working, so. Nah, just restart. If it ever like freezes like that, restart. Be good to go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. What's wrong with it?
The nodes are saying they're failing.
Man, let me see. Shit. Because you're on the wrong thing. Let's see. No, okay, let's see. What the fuck? Okay. Before, did you have like Ethernet instead of gigabit Ethernet on your
I'm on a
routers?
different computer.
This is a new computer.
Yeah. Since the last time we did it.
Last time you did the lab, were you on the cloud or my computer?
Your computer.
This one?
Not that computer though. I
Okay.
think the person that was using this one was using the cloud.
Yeah. You had to use the cloud.
Okay.
Sound good? No big deal though. It's a me problem, not a you problem. Is your name on here though? Were you using it?
No.
Okay, you were using. Okay. What's your name?
Nick.
Nick. Just like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me find a good IP for you.
And just use that IP and then not the native but the other one.
HTML5, yeah. Fuck me. Make sure if I made enough feelings. Your VM's in the West Coast, so it may run just a tad bit slower, but you should be good, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm gonna need it or not, but whenever I hit R2, just keep prompting me with this, and I'm not.
Because you probably hit yes on accident to the auto configuration.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, let me see something. It's not opening up in tabs. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you put yes to this probably.
Okay.
Gotta hit no to that bitch. Give these routers a few, like they take a while to like spin up,
Okay.
so you're good to go.
Sick.
Mm.
Thanks.
You got Chick-fil-A? I want Chick-fil-A. I'm fasting right now, so I'm not eating till 5 p.m. It's Ramadan. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I was gonna respect it, but oh, wow, I'm just kidding. And then, you know, Christmas card.
What is this access class 20
Man, let me see.
again? What do that mean again? I
Mm.
forgot.
It means like I'm applying that thing here, inbound.
Okay.
So I'm like talking to you. My voice is like inbound to you.
Oh, okay.
Feel me?
All right.
Yeah. All I ever wanted was a damn rash. Fuck being rational. What y'all doing over here?
Labs. Doing this lab 8. What is it called again? Let me make sure I said it correctly.
Mhm.
ACL labs.
Oh, hell yeah.
Labs, yeah.
Y'all learning some good shit?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What are you doing?
Doing the same lab as they're doing right there.
All right, nice. You don't mind, right? Okay, just making sure.
Right, you gonna get done first. I'll take my time. Zipping through everything.
Oh my fucking shit. Excuse my language. Like this damn thing, bro.
Oh, you got a question? Excuse me. What's up?
A little confused on this. Like, I'm supposed to be in router 1 and be able to perform a food test from like the source,
Yeah?
but I don't know why it's just not letting me.
Man, let's check her out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shut that thing. And then look at the lab diagram. What you gotta make right here.
VLAN.
So you need sub-interface, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The lab may not say it, but since we're so deep in the course, you feel me?
Yeah, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
When I ping, I'm a user, right?
Mm-hmm.
What am I typing wrong there?
I don't think you're typing anything wrong. Let's look at your, is all this configured correctly?
Yeah.
It is? How do I know? How do you know? Was it configured for you?
No. Should have done this on myself.
All right. Do that all yourself. Try that ping test again. Let me know what happens. Because that lab is just showing you how to apply ACLs. But the network, this far in the course, you should be able to know how to create yourself. Right? I'll announce it to the whole class here in a sec. All right.
I already know. Like, I'm finna spaz out.
Hey guys, I can't yell, so check it out. Standard ACL, that's what this lab's about. But everything else on here, from the PC to the router, what do you need to create? What about right here? Trunk. What about right here? Sub interfaces, right? What about over here? We got VLAN 900, so what do we need over here? Some VLAN 900, switchboard access VLAN, trunk, sub interface. So this is section 8, right? So the lab so far, I've given you literally every single thing, but that's not how the real world works, all right? So these labs now, we're in section 8, it's just going over the technology. You should know how to configure everything else, okay? And R1 to R2, if you need these routers to tell each other about their networks, what would you configure? OSPF, right? Okay. Now the reason I'm doing it like this is because eventually, like when you're not with Trepa Technologies and you're training on your own, because you're gonna be like, damn, I'm motivated to get smart now. When you go like do a lab on YouTube or like INE, CBT Nuggets, and the other training vendors, they don't do all this background work. They're just gonna tell you how to configure EIGRP and DMVPN. You gotta do the background work. Make sense? Okay. No, bro, you got a smart book, bro. You're good.
Oh yeah, you see how old? That's the first thing I own. Damn. Straight, bro. I'm figure this shit out.
What's up? Yeah.
So, I know I wasn't here. I missed a lot of the labs.
Mhm.
I know you built this from scratch. But should I go back to the other labs and do those first?
No, oh, well, if you don't know how, it's fine. Do you have your smart book on you?
No, I left it in.
It's fine. I'll give you an extra. Don't take it, but
Yeah.
just assign the VLANs here and here. Trunk port, sub
I just didn't know what
interfaces.
the baseline was already on there. That's why I did the show run to try and
No worries,
get
yeah,
an idea.
yeah. And then just configure OSPF between them. Do the same thing on that side. You know how to configure trunks and VLANs
Yeah,
and
I
all
know
that?
how to configure trunks and VLANs, but
Okay.
configuring the OSPF, I'm going to need the smart book for.
I got you. Yeah.
I know we use it, and I know how it works.
It's all good. Yeah. All good. That's why you're here.
Yeah, probably did.
And I haven't done it on VMs before either, so am
You're
I
good.
going to need to open all these? They should already all be started. Do I need to open them all too?
Well, the switch, right? A couple
Well,
PCs.
no, I'm talking about all. Do I just need to open all of them? But I know they've already started because we did the thing earlier.
Yeah, I mean, so you got a console into the switch to the trunk. You got a console in here to set the IPs. You know,
Okay, I see what you're saying.
should already be set for you, but yeah.
Okay, sick. Thanks.
Mhm.
turbo trunk. And the switchboard trunk allows VLAN and then the other. They're not wishable for. That's for routing. No. So /31 take that portion. Yeah. So this first router should be created. They expensive. I haven't compared any of that. Bantry is like an automatic account. Or remember that.
God damn.
To use the proprietary.
Nothing. I just played it.
Has anyone finished the standard lab yet? Damn. All right, guys, if you're not finished, just get to a good stopping point and take a break, because at 1:30, we're going to go over some layer 2 security.
Interface between the two batteries are both off. So I couldn't do those because they're both off. But during AIT, that was an issue.
All right. We're going to go over DHCP snooping now. So take a break off that CLI, because you're going to need to know this for the exam. They always ask like 1 or 2 questions on this shit, so we got to know it. So this is a layer 2 security protocol to protect us from layer 2 attacks. Layer 2 attacks are like rogue DHCP servers, rogue default gateways from manipulating ARP. We have some spanning tree protocol attacks we could talk about when it comes to layer 2 security. But for the CCNA exam, we're going to hit DHCP snooping and dynamic ARP inspection. So DHCP snooping. And all it does at the end of the day is protect from rogue DHCP servers. It protects against DHCP starvation attacks by allowing what's called trusted and untrusted ports. So the untrusted ports, they're not going to be able to receive DHCP server messages. So here's how this works out. So DHCP, what's the acronym that we have to memorize? And what's the D? Discover. Discover. And that is a client or a server message. It's from a client. The O is offer. And that's a server message. Okay? So technically, in this diagram, only this device, we'll name it R1, should be sending an offer message and the acknowledge message. So because we know that, because we should only be receiving the offer and acknowledgements from this DHCP server, DHCP snooping can set up trusted and untrusted ports. And if an untrusted port gets a server message, it's going to shut it down. It's going to put that port into what's called an error disabled mode. So here's how this works. When I configure DHCP snooping, and it's really easy to configure, at the switch, this is layer 2 security. So at the switch, we just type in IP DHCP snooping. And then we got to set which VLANs we want to do it for. So IP DHCP snooping VLAN 10, 20. That's the entire configuration. That's it. We're done. Once we enable this, all interfaces by default are untrusted. Okay? So now we have to go and configure the trusted ports. So, untrusted means that if we get a DHCP server message, we're going to go into an error disabled mode and shut down the interface. So we have our rogue DHCP server here. So we want this one to be untrusted. Any client's going to be untrusted, right? Because the client's never going to send a server message, therefore the switch never receives. Because when we're configuring this, we're in the perspective of the switch. So when the DHCP server responds with that offer message, it's going to come this way and then this way. So from the perspective of the switch, which interfaces should be receiving DHCP server messages? 0.1 on switch 2 and 0.0 on switch 1. Because you're configuring from the switch perspective, right? The switch is like, when should I receive a DHCP server message? So I should receive that if we follow the flow right here and right here. Because when this DHCP server responds, it's sending an offer this way, and then it's going to come this way. We're not worried about outbound. We're worried about just receiving. So right here, actually, this is still untrusted right there, okay? Because we shouldn't be receiving a server message right there, okay? Does that make sense, guys? Okay. That's really it. That's DHCP snooping. So, if you get a question that's like, what should I expect to be plugged into a trusted interface, a router, or DHCP server? Okay? That's it. What should I be expected to plug into a trusted interface on DHCP snooping, a router, and a DHCP server? Write that down, okay? I'll write it up here too. What should be plugged in to trusted interfaces? Routers or DHCP servers? Okay? Now, obviously, you're like, but what about this? Like, yeah, we get it, right? What it's trying to get you to understand is that A trusted interface is typically there for the DHCP server. Do you ever have to stick these out in the 80-second DHCP snooping? Oh, he's not paying attention to me. It's okay. Do you ever have to stick this in the 80-second? For like your switches? Oh, okay. We had to do this shit on all of our, it sucks once you configure it. Because what can happen is rate limiting too. So like sometimes in a big network, these trusted interfaces start going to air disabled mode because it's receiving so many broadcasts, or excuse me, server messages. So sometimes we'll have to put rate limiting on there. But anyways, we don't have to get into that. Okay. Any questions here? All right. I am going to end class today because my voice fucking hurts, so I don't want to ruin it for the rest of the week. So tonight, the only thing I want you guys to go over is just watch my video on dynamic ARP inspection because they follow like, dynamic ARP inspection is built off this. So like DHCP snooping has to be enabled for dynamic ARP inspection to work. Okay, tomorrow we're going to go over wireless, all right? It's going to be like probably 3 hours worth of wireless shit. So be ready. Sweet. I'll see y'all tomorrow.